Hi everybody, Dave here from More Style Tarot. In this particular video, I want to share with you a insight that I got with regards to three cards: the sun, the moon, and the stars in the tarot. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I found this interesting, and it's a very intuitive interpretation. So it's a little outside the box, and it gave me a different understanding with regards to these cards than what I've had before. Basically, the more I look at the cards, the more I see similarities between astrology and tarot. There's combinations between the two. And when I look at tarot and look at it from the interpretations, the meanings that have been there that people have put together behind the cards, quite often there's a bleed over into astrology. Now, if you know anything about astrology, there are three things that everybody looks at in the chart as being three critical items that stand out. One, everybody knows, is what's your sun sign. Sun sign's easy. When were you born during the year? That's going to define what you project, how you put things out into the world. Sun sign is obvious. Everybody acts, what they display to the world is what their sun sign is. But another thing that everybody always looks for is, what's the moon placement? That moon placement, it defines how you get emotional satisfaction in life. Everybody gets different emotional satisfaction. It's going to be in a different sign for everyone. It goes around the chart in hours, in other words, 28 days to get around the full chart. But it provides a level of detail with regards to the emotional area. It's more the intuitive. It is the feelings and emotion side of life. Whereas the sun would be more of the ego and what you do. The moon is how you feel, how you are touched, how people touch you. And so that moon has a very significant element. But the third item that everybody does, you look at any astrology videos, any projections, any transits that they cover, they look at the rising sign. That rising sign is how it casts the stars for you. So the rising sign. If you have the rising sign, your chart is rotated to the point of that minute during the day, because the Earth spins. Every single sign is covered in 24 hours. So there's a 2-hour window of where it runs into these signs. Now, with that, it means that when you look at your stars are going to define where all the other planets are, what the other influences are, what your individual little items are. It's going to color what it is for every house through your system. So when you cast an astrology chart, if you don't know the time of day, you don't use the house system, but you interpret the aspects between the planets and what sign the planets are in. And then you can extrapolate based upon the planets and what their meanings are that would affect areas of life. Yet, if you know the rising sign, we know the house system that's going to play out, or we know where the rising sign, where the descendant is, where the MC and IC, the highest point and the lowest point, are in the chart. So we can find characteristics of how the other planets fall in there. So tarot seems to have this association. These 3 points are critical. The stars would represent the rising sign. How are your stars cast for you? Where do they play out? This is going to show you the association. So if you're going to draw on the stars, if the star card comes up, you're going to look at it as that innate activity of what you do in the background, how you would behave in the background in a subconscious level. The signs in the houses, the signs in the placement around the chart, give a background energy into what you're doing. I would look at it and say, if I'm drawing the stars and I'm talking about something that's in the work life, then I would be looking at what is the influence in the 6th house area. Or if I'm dealing with a reading that deals with friends, what is the influence in the 7th house area? If they're talking about issue that they're struggling through with themselves, you might say, what's going on in the 1st house? So we can use the house system associated with the stars. Maybe draw another card to go with it. Depends on what your reading is, what your placement is. But it opens up the new meaning for the stars. Rather than simply as hope, it is, what's your placement? How is your placement associated with the energy associated with you, because these 3 cards are energy cards. They are light. We are made of light. So they all shine together to show up where is the energy playing out for you. These 3 cards give us a feeling. 1, what you do in life would be the sun, how you're projecting into the world. 2 is the moon. How is it that you're getting the most emotional satisfaction, or what's emotionally at play? Maybe there's a mother dynamic here. Maybe there's a nurturing dynamic. Maybe there's subconscious stuff going on. But it's the moon. It is how you are feeling and what you're projecting, where the emotions are. The stars, again, would be the cast of your chart, the layout of your chart. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you because I simply woke up from a dream with that intuitive understanding. It seems to make sense for me. I'm going to play with that more, but I wanted to share it with you to see what you thought about it. See if you've ever thought about that yourself. See how this might help you in a card reading. I'd love to hear back from you if that did help you. Anyway, have a great day.